Here we go. Okay. Okay, everybody. Welcome to CPL 9 Royale Week 3 cast of Phase 2, a round robin. We've got 3 matches today. We've got PvP, Baal versus earob. There we go. Is that a bit better, Dada? We've got Baal versus earob, Exit versus Vermin, which is TVZ. And then we've got Kiko versus SilentStorm, a lovely TVT to finish it up. So we may be here until midnight, depends how the last game goes. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into game 1, which is going to be Baal versus earob on Butter. Here we go. And the hotkeys are working. So at the top right, we've got in the blue on Butter, we've got earob, red. And in the bottom right, the red, Protoss, Ash, Baal. And Butter's quite a fun map for PvP, I think, in that there are various cheesy openings that can be done on here. I don't know that either of these players is specifically cheesy though. I think they can pull it out when they want to, but we'll have to see what they've brought for this one. The small choke, which we can't see at the moment, but we'll be able to see soon, makes for some interesting stuff. But so far, neither player sending out an early probe, so we're not going to see any immediate proxy shenanigans going on. Both just going with the standard pylon, fairly close to the nexus. Not going to move it too close to the choke, as I guess they don't really need to. I guess this kind of suggests that neither player is going to go 2-gate zealot sort of all in, as I would expect them to chuck the probe, the pylon a little closer to the choke in that case. But I know that there's the other option is a fairly conservative kind of 2-gate zealot into later tech. But it looks like earob's opting for the early gas, whereas Baal's not. Baal is going to put down another gateway. So we've got the divergence happening already. So Baal's going to be heavy on the zealots to start with. Earob's going to get straight into that tech. We'll have to see if earob makes a zealot first or a core first. If he goes with the zealot first, he's going to be a little safer, I think, against the early zealots from Baal. And I think it's fairly standard to make an early... Oh, no, we got the core first. I expect to see a pretty quick zealot afterwards. And the other thing that earob's doing here is he's getting that, doing the core scout, I think, just after putting the core down. Possibly just before, actually. Just to see what Baal's up to. So first zealot shortly be out from Baal, and we do have a zealot coming out from earob. And second pylon before second gateway, so earob's in no hurry to put down extra gateways. He's just going to rely on that choke, I guess, to fend off the early zealots from Baal, who's got just the one, and I guess his spike's going to be at 3, and then perhaps 5 is... I'd expect him to move out on 3 or 5 to pressure. One thing though, Baal doesn't know what earob's up to. He hasn't scouted yet. Taking his gas now, but he's going to be getting his scouting information with his first zealots, and he'll be up with 3 goons against, 3 zealots against a zealot and a dragoon. earob adding their second gateway now, so he'll be able to. Yeah, I guess it's going to be a tough kind of micro fight for earob to hold this off to start with, but once that second goon gets out, I think it's going to become a lot easier. And that might be a bit of a issue for earob, having moved past of the zealots there, because he's now kind of zoned out. Do we have range? We have range on the way from earob. And lots of damage on that one zealot there, so Baal's going to go straight for the probes here. He just wants to knock out earob's economy. earob's straight on to putting those probes. We've got 2 probes down, which is good damage, 3 probes down. So Baal with a 4 probe lead at the moment. Bit of a mistake there hitting the nexus. He probably meant to click on a probe, but that didn't happen. So we've got a problem here for Baal in that, well, he's got 2 goons out now, I guess. His aggression window's now closed, but he doesn't need to be aggressive anymore because he's now got the probe advantage, and his range isn't that far behind earob's. So to come back into this, I think earob's going to have to make the most of that point where he has range and Baal doesn't. No further tech from earob at the moment, but we have a third gateway from Baal here. Okay, so he's going to just make absolutely sure he's not going to die to the early goon range power spike that earob's got coming soon. And we'll have to see what earob picks here, whether he's going to go with another gateway or into some sort of tech. It's tricky for him though, because he is 6 probes now behind. He's felt a bit pressured perhaps to get that extra units out and sacrifice some probe production for that. But Baal's taken a lot of free hits on these goons. I don't know if we have yeah, we have range done now for earob, but not yet done for Baal. That's still a little ways off for Baal, so another 20 seconds or so where earob could push a bit. But he's at this point, if he pushes through here, he can get sort of swarmed by the defending goons. So I think we're not going to have any more engagement now until Baal has the goon range as well. Earob taking a nice kind of contained position there, and earob is going into the robo, so I expect a Reaver coming up soon. I don't think Baal can reasonably break out of this at the moment. I think there are enough goons here to, if he's careful with the control of the goons, he can just pick them off as they try to push through. Which is a problem for Baal because he's gone 3-gate goon and he doesn't have any other tech immediately on the way, but that was nice. Yeah, he's cleared it. He's cleared it. So earob getting a lot of damage on these goons as they come out, but he's been sort of booted out of the natural, so he can't maintain that control on them anymore. Interesting that Baal has no kind of detection, no kind of tech on the way at the moment. He's just relying on the goons, the 3-gate goon. He may be going for an expansion. Looking at those minerals piling up, he may want to get an expansion. Still 7 probes ahead. But earob really doing quite well in these engagements to get the more efficient trades, I guess you could say. So 5 goons against 5 goons, but some of these are quite bruised. Well, one of them's bruised, and 1 bruised here as well. So fairly equal, but defender's advantage in terms of time it takes for the goons to reinforce here for Baal. So he's not going to have a problem holding this natural expansion. So the next spike, I think, power spike, is going to be when earob's Reaver arrives. So he's probably got a shuttle on the way at the moment, and then he's going to... I guess he's got a shuttle out already, hopefully. No, actually, he's made Reaver first. I don't see a shuttle anywhere. Interesting that earob doesn't want to hold there. I guess earob doesn't really have any information about what Baal's gone for, so he's going to play it safe and make sure that his goons are close enough to his base to intercept a potential drop. So observatory out now for Baal, who still has a 6 probe advantage. Definitely in the lead, although the timing on the natural expansion is slightly better for earob, which is nice. That may help him catch back up. And there's no way that Baal really can break this at the moment, I think. He can't punish earob for that expansion because of the Reaver. Earob's still only on 2 gateways though, so perhaps his route back into the game is to hope that Baal doesn't attack his natural, and then because he's got speed on the way for the shuttle, perhaps he's going to sneak into Baal's main and try and pick off a couple of probes. But still, no information for earob. He doesn't know what's coming at the moment. He can't. He's definitely at a goon disadvantage. Actually, there's the army on the part of Baal is really piling up, and he will have zealot speed on the way shortly. No second gas for Baal, so he's going to commit to these zealots a little bit, speed zealots, just to buffer his army, and perhaps just out muscle earob at his natural. which I think is actually achievable now. If Baal had the information on what earob was doing and what his goon count was, he might get away with a bust, but he doesn't have that info. Both players kind of playing a little bit in the dark, just because with ranged goons out, it's just really difficult to get that information with scouting probes and the like. This is going to be interesting. Here comes earob's shot, his chance to get back in the game. Can he get huge amounts of damage done? Oh, nice shot. That's got to be about 5 probes at least with that one scarab. And nothing, and so much commitment to zealots that there are no goons spawning here either. Can he get out? He does have speed. This is really nice. He's actually 10 probes ahead here of now. He's completely reversed the probe advantage. Zealot being left behind. earob now with really great information on what Baal's up to. May lose the shuttle here though. Bit of a risk, but yeah, okay. Good trade. Bit of damage on the shuttle, but picked off at least 2 more probes there. Baal's going to be in trouble here, I think, unless he can make something happen to dent earob's natural. And it looks like he's got the same idea. He knows that he's been put behind with that, and he's going to have to make the most of his production that he's had up until this point. And he does still have a gateway advantage for the moment, with earob going up to 6 gateways. earob looking at the long game, getting some a forge ready for those upgrades. Baal just going to stick to these gateways. I think Baal knows that because he doesn't really have the tech up there. I mean, he has observers, but no reavers out. I think Baal knows that he's got perhaps a small window now to make something happen. Neither player going for the 3rd base, understandably for earob, but perhaps that's Baal's play. I think there are too many reavers here, perhaps, for Baal to be able to make anything happen at this natural. Although the reavers can go down now. Nice pickup on the reaver there. I think earob's held this handily. That's very nice. No reavers to on Baal's side to bust into there because of the really nice arc there that earob had. And earob's now comfortable enough to move out of his base. Chasing Baal across to the left. But no, he's going to leave the... Well, he's just going to put the pressure on, I guess. More reavers coming out, so I guess he's happy to take the risk. Oh, and I completely missed this drop. Whoops. Looks like we're down to half the probes for Baal that earob has. And a huge goon army just clearing up Baal's army in the middle of the map here as well. Beautiful. Wow. Nice work. Well played both. Really nice drops from earob there. I guess that's the power of reavers. There we go. Okay. So that looked really good for Baal to start with. Really nice early advantage on the probes, and then with the army advantage as it went into it as well. But perhaps because he didn't have the information, he didn't realise that he had a window there. I think he had a bit of a window to move out and make something happen at earob's natural just before the reavers came out. But with that drop just blindsiding him, that was, yeah, really nice. I didn't get the kill count on that reaver, but it must have been 15, 20 probes at least. Righto, that's the PvP. I like that matchup. It gets a bad rep, but so long as it doesn't go into really late game with mass cannons and mind control carriers, it's fun. Next up, we've got a TVZ. We've got Exit against Vermin. It should be interesting. It looks like they're playing on Butter as well. I guess Butter's the map for this week. Exit against Vermin. Exit at least a Terran, I think. And Vermin, I don't know. maybe B+, perhaps he's a low A player as well, I don't know. But I've seen them play before, and I know they're both solid. Right, moving into game number 2. Exit against Vermin. And in the top right, in the brown Terran, exit. I should have run this replay through the color corrector. It's too late. Top right, anyway, exit in brown. Interested to see if he goes to some sort of early Rax play on this map. It's quite fun sniping that Overlord. Bottom right, in the blue, Zerg, it's Vermin. And equally, given how 8 Rax is fairly popular, I think, on this map, I wonder if we'll see Vermin go with an early pull. I don't think it's going to be an 8 Rax. Okay, I'm probably speaking a bit soon there. Maybe it's a wall. No, I think it might be a Rax, actually. It is a Rax. Interesting. Okay, so he's going to want to snipe this Overlord. So the question is, I guess, whether Vermin knows that there's a timing. You've got seconds, I think, when the Overlord gets up to here, where you can actually snipe it down with your first couple of Marines. And so if Vermin takes the most direct path to get to this safe space, he's gonna have trouble, because these Marines are going to be out in time. And I think with the positioning of that depot there, that's a really nice one, because another depot on top of there is going to make for a ling-tight wall, I think. So the first... Oh, and we've got gas as well. I like that. I wonder if this is going to be a factory follow-up. Seems likely to me. Question for me is, where is he going to put the... where's he going to put the factory? He's going to proxy it. He's checking for the Overlord here, perhaps, just to see where it is. And that Overlord, I think that Overlord's now dead. And I completely forgot to check what Vermin's going for. He's gone 12 hatch into 11 pool, I believe. Yep, I don't think there's a safe spot here. I think that Overlord's dead. And that's really going to hurt him, but especially if it dies before the pool finishes, because he's not going to have the Lings out to defend his expansion. Unless there is actually a spot here. I think the second Marine can go up here, though, and actually knock it out. But it's going to be useful for exit if he can kill it before that pool finishes, though. Vermin doing a good job of actually making this Overlord as difficult to kill as possible. And did the pool finish? The pool just didn't finish. How close is... Ah, second Overlord's ages away. He'll have to... I don't know if Exit's actually going to go for the bunker. It looks like he's not going to do it. He may not realise that the Lings aren't out yet and haven't been able to have been made. Or perhaps he just knows the timing and knows that the second Overlord's going to be out in time. Or technically third Overlord is going to be out in time to stop it. So he's not gonna take that risk. Instead, he's going to go with what looks like it was his plan all along, and just chuck up that factory and go make trouble. I guess the thing here, though, is that there'll be a lot of Lings out, but will Vermin just by default chuck down a Sunken? One thing about sniping that early Overlord is that Vermin has no information right now. Oh, and that's okay. That's quite cool, actually. He knows he doesn't have to make a tight wall, so he's just he's made them more flexible later game wall. But he will need to block that with an SCV just to stop these initial Lings. How all in is he going? He's not going all in. He's just making a lair. But this first Vulture, there's no Sunken. That first Vulture is going to be nasty. 8 Lings out, but they haven't got speed, and speed is not on the way. So if he... Oh, he will need to block this. He needs an SCV there. The Lings will just barrel in. We get the really nice target firing there. It's tricky because you want to do the patrol micro, but to you sometimes have to click specifically on the same drone over and over again and try and find it, but that's really beautiful. 3 drones down already. And it looks like, I guess he technically didn't need the SCV blocking. And now we've got 2 drones. Whoa! Really nice technical win from Exit there. Nice nice smashing down the Overlord, and then just no information for Vermin on what the follow-up was. He might have just assumed it was straight into the expansion, maybe. Yeah, nice. Well played from Exit there. Unlucky for Vermin. That map sucks for Zerg, I think, against Terrans. Just, well, maybe not late game, but if you take the simple path with the Overlord, it's just not going to survive. Nice, nice, nice. I do like seeing those dirty Tasagi moves, though, Genesis. It's gives me ideas. Okay, so that was a very quick game. That was a win in 4 minutes and 40 seconds, thanks to that. Really nice follow-up. He'd mapped that out. He'd mapped out where the Overlord was likely to go for the second one, and knew that he could safely put the factory where he put it. Where I think I should have checked during the game, but I think the second Overlord that Vermin made went to the west, to the left, which is the more sort of traditional place, I think, to proxy your factory if you go with that build. But he put it in the blind spot. Very nice. Okay, on to the third and final game. In fact, we've got Kiko against SilentStorm, a TVT. I hope everyone's got a drink or something. Kiko, SilentStorm. Definitely two of the strongest Terran players in CPL. I think perhaps contending with Love Snow and Pandor, and I'm going to be forgetting someone, but these are definitely... well, they qualified for the... Oops, hang on. They qualified for the Royale, so they're obviously the best of the best. So I'm going to go to that. Okay, top right, we've got Kiko in the red Terran, and do we have top versus bottom? No. Top right Kiko, red Terran, and bottom right SilentStorm, or the first law in the sort of the grey / black Terran. I think last time I saw SilentStorm play this map, I think actually when I played SilentStorm on this map, we had the same starting spots. I was top right, and I tried to kill him with 3 Factory Vulture, and instead he killed me with 3 Factory Goliath. So I'm curious to see if that's a strategy that he was gonna go for anyway, or if it was just a reactionary play to the fact that I was making a bunch of Vultures with no expansion, and so he went for a bunch of Goliaths with a no or a late expansion. No 8 racks is going on here. I guess a little less useful in TVT generally. No Overlords to snipe. Interested to see if either player will go for a gasless play. I think out of the 2 players, I would say that Kiko's more likely to go for a gasless opener. But whether anyone wants to risk it on a 2-player map is perhaps the question. Both putting their barracks is in a place where they can sort of float out and get to the enemy base a bit earlier. SilentStorm going for the gas, Kiko going for the gas, so we're not going to see any gasless expands going on here. I guess the standard opener that I would expect, that seems to be the norm in TVT, is just make a couple of Marines and a Vulture, and then chuck the CC down. And we'll be able to tell, I guess, by whether they pull the SCVs off the gas. Kiko wasting no time getting his gas going, same with SilentStorm. SilentStorm rocking the 520 APM. That's very fast. I would like to hear his keyboard. Nice depot placement for the second depot for Kiko there. Just keep an eye out for drops. And it looks like both scouting roughly the same time. Both chucking down their factories. SilentStorm and Kiko both having taken 2 SCVs off gas. So both of them look like they're going for that fast CC. Which can start, I think, after 1 Vulture, or maybe even slightly before the first Vulture, depending on how many Marines they make. Kiko with the 1 Marine. SilentStorm with at least 2. So SilentStorm's going to find it easier to fend off this barracks that Kiko's floating down. Kiko's got enough information from his scout, I guess, that he doesn't reckon he needs more than the 1 Marine to hold off until the Vulture gets there. I would think with the rush distance on this map that with the same number of factories, with 1 factory each, you'd expect to have 2 Vultures by the time your opponent's first Vulture arrives at your natural. So a nice little economical advantage for Kiko there, perhaps, from having just made that 1 Marine. Both back on gas, as you kind of expect. 2 Vultures before Machine Shop for SilentStorm. In fact, no Vulture for Kiko. I missed that. He went straight into the Machine Shop. Interesting. Okay, another scout for SilentStorm. So SilentStorm's got a bit more information than Kiko going into the mid game. Quick second factory. Okay, so Kiko going into the 2 factories and no Vultures to start with, just the tank that he's counting on to hold off this initial pressure. He will lose his SCV on this command center, and that delay might be quite nasty because SilentStorm will finish up before him there, finish his CC, but not delay him too much. 1 SCV advantage now for SilentStorm. It's the starport that's going to be key, but if I know Kiko, he's probably got an armory on the way already. Well, he will have shortly anyway. He doesn't need... Oh, another nice snipe. Nice snipe. Nice play from SilentStorm here, getting those quick kills on the SCVs without fully committing and not actually having lost any units yet, which is really nice. SilentStorm's seen that there are early tanks out, so he's making his own tanks now. He might pick this... No, he doesn't want to waste the units. That's quite nice, saving those 2 Vultures on red, just presumably going to repair them up. No siege on the way yet for SilentStorm. That Wraith out very soon, so that's going to put a stop to this push, basically. No siege on the way either for Kiko. He does have a slight tank advantage here, and that's... I wonder if he can block it with this. With that barracks, if he lands it. So does he have an armory on the way? He didn't have an armory on the way. He's made that reaction as a reaction to the raids, and he only has the 1 Marine to fend off the raids. So he's going to be pushed all the way back to his base, and he does lose a... Does he lose a tank? I think he lost a tank there, unless that was a Vulture. This is an uncomfortable position, especially with that Rax landed there as well. Nice mine placement from Kiko, gonna stop this from turning into an unbreakable contain. He's gonna have to just ignore this Wraith, and he is basically ignoring the Wraith at the moment, just to fend off the ground army and make sure that Kiko doesn't get a SilentStorm doesn't get a proper contain set up there. No siege done, and I don't think either player has siege done yet. I guess they just want to keep the tanks mobile at this stage of the game. No plans to set up... And I guess the other thing is that if you get siege too early with a small tank count, then the big SCV pool can really ruin your day. That Wraith count's starting to build up a little bit. Does he have an academy on the way, and do we have a control tower? We are researching... Okay, so Cloak's a bit late there. Instead, we have a couple of turrets just to make sure that Cloaked Wraiths can't destroy everything. So Kiko doing a great job of actually holding this off, to be honest. It was a nice play from SilentStorm, but he's not going to get the contain. Now we're researching siege mode for SilentStorm. These tanks could get caught out. That's a big army advantage for Kiko, and he doesn't have siege mode yet. He might get caught here, trapped and killed off. There's one tank down. Yeah, getting caught up there was really rough. I'm wondering if perhaps he thought he had siege mode done already, or if he was planning on having siege mode done already so he could set up there, but Kiko just able to get into that spot where he can cut him off. So we've probably got Cloak almost done now, if not done already. That was a bit of a mistake. I wonder if that lift was, yeah, it was to put the kiln set down. Whoops. Okay, so we do have siege mode out, but one tank is just not enough. It will go down any second. Yeah, so that's gone down. Maybe he can hold off with these SCVs, but he's already 6 or 7 SCVs down. He really doesn't want to be losing any more of these SCVs. Not that he really has a choice. He has to hold this off. Okay, so nice hold from SilentStorm, who I think probably knows that he's a bit behind economically. Lost a couple of SCVs, and perhaps Kiko's been a bit more diligent about keeping them pumping, or his build has been a bit more, has had less SCVs cut. No +1 on the way for Kiko yet. No armory that I can see for SilentStorm. So SilentStorm just going straight for the third base, which makes a lot of sense. I like that actually, because Kiko's been pretty aggressive this game. I think he's done some nice moves, but on the whole, Kiko's strength, I think, is, or the way that I've seen him play usually, is that he's comfortable with the long game, the long sort of game where he can play it more as a sort of a chess match, as it were. Not having much luck with those mines. Okay, so SilentStorm catching up on the SCV count a little bit now. No +1 on the way. It's a difficult decision, I find, in TVT sometimes, whether you want to spend an early 100 gas on that +1, but I guess it depends on how long you're expecting the game to go. And 100 gas isn't that much. It's a tank, but you know, I guess SilentStorm's committed a fair bit of gas to these wraiths, and so these mineral turrets only costing minerals is quite rough. To fend them off with that position as well is really nice. That's good. That's going to be painful for SilentStorm to clear here, as he doesn't have scanner. He possibly doesn't even have academy yet. So those mines are going to be painful, and he has taken some SCV losses there. Oh no, missed that. Yeah, great work delaying that. Oh, it's a shame those SCVs are still building, but I guess it's one of those things where it's just a mechanical thing. You just mash the S key. More often than not, mashing the S key is the right thing to do. So 4 factories for SilentStorm. Kiko, don't know where he just scanned. 4 factories going up to 6 factories. This looks like one of my base layouts. I'm glad I'm not the only one. So these mines here, these mines, if he can wait for the SCVs to get there and then bait a Goliath or a tank to move down in there, that would be lovely. He needs to go right down into that corner there. No, it's the range on that tank. That's a nice placement on that tank. I think he can hit everything. But this position up there is going to be very difficult for SilentStorm to break. Got his own squad of vultures out on the map now. And I think this pathway is going to become perhaps quite important to SilentStorm because... Oh, and this one, I guess. Because he's just not going to get up that one. Can't drop on it because of all the turrets and mines, and difficult to actually advance into it because of the high ground advantage of the siege tanks. Kiko's got his healthy third base there, probably moving up to possibly thinking about taking a fourth soonish. Kiko keeping an eye on that base. Oh, interesting. Okay, so he's just going to move straight past it, and that could be a bit painful if we if SilentStorm sets up in perhaps in fact on top of this ramp, just next to those depots, and the mine's in place as well. I guess Kiko's got scanners up, but how much energy do they? He's got lots of energy. Never mind. Oh, but he's not realised there were mines there. Oh dear. That's very nice. That is really nice, because now the tanks are covering the vultures, which are able to... Oh, that's a really good wall though for him here, because it's stopping the vultures from getting in that perfect position. But that third base is shut down. I've missed this. +1 done for Kiko. No +1 yet for SilentStorm. I think this... He's going to need to commit quite a lot. Perhaps he'll have to pull SCVs to save that third. But if SilentStorm's able to save his third, and he's at the same time denied or almost killed Kiko's third, that's a really nice position for him to be in. There we go. So he has saved his third, which is great. And Kiko's now back down to two gases. Solid supply advantage now for SilentStorm. Slightly higher SCV count for Kiko, but it looks like this move here was the key one, really, because that seems to have wasted a lot of Kiko's units, whereas SilentStorm's been able to trade a lot more efficiently. Kiko pushed a bit down that ramp there. Nice mine placements there to make things painful for Kiko moving down. This Wraith is getting value. I think those are 2 tanks that it's killed off. It's quite an impressive tally for a Wraith. The one thing that I think Kiko does still have going for him here is he does have this position. What SilentStorm's doing that I think is really cool is he's ignoring that position and sort of going around to the side. He's going to have to get rid of those mines, but he's placing mines. He's setting up to crawl around the bottom left of the map, it seems, and just avoid engaging head on into that army. Kiko putting down a 4th/3rd. 4 tanks have been killed by this Wraith now. Very nice. What is our upgrade situation looking like? We've got dropships out now. 3 dropships for SilentStorm. And Kiko actually catching back up on supply. I really hope he doesn't run directly into these mines. That would be very unfortunate. Okay, so again, completely ignoring or bypassing the sort of the entrenched position over there. Oh, he's going to run straight into this. Who's going to scan first? Okay. Looks like SilentStorm's a bit more clumped up, maybe taking more splash damage, but overall he's managed to save his save the position there. Needs some Goliaths, or perhaps bring his own Wraiths up there to fend off those Wraiths of Kiko. Wraith's getting really great value here. I mean, 5 kills, 3 kills on Kiko's Wraiths. SilentStorm now going to take this base. So this is going straight into the late game. 7 factories. Is this +2? +2 halfway done for Kiko. +1. No. Oh, in fact, no upgrades for SilentStorm. SilentStorm's just pumping units. I'm interested to see what he does with the dropships here. He can't run into this though. He didn't have the information, I think, that there were that many tanks up there, but that's just not going to work out for him. Nice defense by Kiko. He's not going to fall for the same trick twice. So this position for Kiko is interesting because it's not actually threatening a base at the moment, but he can grow from it. In fact, one thing it does do is it perhaps protects an advance down this way by cutting off that bridge. So it may be that Kiko wants to press this base. Sorry, no, this base. Press this base once he knows that it's going up, and he does have a mine there. He sees it going up. But SilentStorm is hedging his bets by taking bases on both sides. Basically, both players mirrored with their expansions. Kiko pulling slightly ahead on supply again. Kiko again with the stronger map presence though. Some good mine placement from SilentStorm to keep an eye on things and to get the odd cheeky detonation on passing units. But the big position, I think, in this is this one just here. Can he reach that command center from up there? That's what I'm wondering. I don't think he can shell it, and I don't think he can hit any of the SCVs. But perhaps having that there means that he can then drop some tanks over there. These wraiths are still... Oh no! These wraiths are still getting great value until they die. Okay, so a second big forward position taken by Kiko here. So he's on SilentStorm's side of the map in two important, I think, locations. Not important in that they can actually shell down a base, but important in that they can really stop SilentStorm from easily moving around the map. Ah, this is not going to go well unless... No, I don't think that's not good enough. He may have been hoping to sneak through there and just set up, but that's in range of those. It seems like SilentStorm's very aware of the fact that he's being out-positioned here by Kiko, and so he's having to take some risks to try to secure some of his own positions. And that's tricky because Kiko's placing his units in really good spots to prevent that. How quick can we get the reinforcements for SilentStorm here? The Vulture's a nice fodder here. Ah, but that line's a bit rough. The Goliaths, just the firepower of this set. Oh wow, okay. Almost clearing it out. At least a fairly, perhaps an even trade. Perhaps that was a Kiko favoured trade actually. I think SilentStorm lost a lot more supply there. But he stopped him from moving down and taking out this base. I'd like that tank there, just as a sort of a backbone or cornerstone for the position. Okay, so there's dropships to be used there. What is? I kind of want to look to Kiko's base to see what he's planning next, but I can't look away because there's always action going on, which is nice actually for a TVT to have it so aggressive. Great D matrix there, really nice, well played. GG from both. Nice positions from Kiko. Beautiful. So despite the early sort of pick-offs, SilentStorm with a really nice opener there, picking off some of those SCVs that were building Kiko's command center, but Kiko managed to sort of scrape his way back into it and then just took the important positions. Nice work, well played. So that was week 3 of CPL Royale on no game timer. I don't know, I had to disable the replay panel because... Oh, hang on. Does that work on replays where you've disabled the game timer? Oh, it does. Okay, my bad. I'll do that next time. It was 21 minutes if you were wondering, West. Yeah, I'll do that next time. I am widescreen, so, you know, there's that. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. That was CPL 9 Royale. That was phase 2, the round robin phase. So these guys have got more more games coming up, I think, against different players. And that was week 3. So I'm looking forward to the next matchups. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to close the stream there. Have a lovely afternoon, evening, morning, or night.